You join me today in Skaraborg, Sweden for another overnight backpacking trip in my native homeland. In the last video, we got started at St. Olof's Church in Falköping and head out on the Pilgrim's Trail. We stopped by the local zoo and got an incredible view over the surrounding area. We even visited the ruins of an old monastery before settling in for the night in a nearby forest. You join me today for part 2 of this lovely adventure on the Pilgrim's Trail. Good morning, folks. I slept very well. It is actually 12:30 now, but I'm all packed up and ready to go. We have about the same distance today, 16 kilometers or about 10 miles to my next campsite. It's warming up really nicely already, about 68. Not much sun, but I think it will be in the afternoon. So we're gonna get moving here. I've had a little bit of a protein bar and some nuts for breakfast, and I'll stop in a bit for lunch. Some gorgeous mushrooms along the trail, nice red and orange color to them. And here's a real big boy. Look at that, bigger than my hand. Even more mushrooms, a different kind. And you can see, still getting signage that we're on the right trail. It's so quiet and peaceful here in this forest. All you hear is the birds chirping, the wind blowing overhead. I realize now if I was a little more patient, I could have picked from any numerous beautiful campsites, but I'm quite happy with the one that I stuck with. Slept like a dog. Apparently I needed it. Let's continue. I'm getting a lot of these moose flies, I believe they are. They like to dig into your skin, but they're big enough that you can feel them when they land and crawl on you, so usually I react in time. But that is something new to me. It's sort of a fall season thing. We are leaving the forest, coming out onto this bigger road here. Gonna be turning right and following it for quite a while. So I'm gonna take a little water break, enjoy the serenity for a moment longer, and then we'll hit the road. Not sure what the significance of this is. Just walking along this road here. Lots of cute little farm properties. Still following this road. We've gone uphill a little here, and we can now see down towards Hornborgasjön again. Later on in the day, we'll get a close-up view, so don't you worry, folks. Also, the weather has become very nice. Blue skies, mostly sunny. Maybe 68 degrees, 70 even. So I'm getting warm and sweaty, but very happy. Hello, cow. There's a bit of a pumpkin patch here. Halloween has become more and more popular in Sweden over the years. Lots of happy cows. There's this kids cartoon in Sweden called Mamma Moo, and that one looks just like her. Looks like they do sell pumpkins here. Pretty cool. And a gorgeous view as well. This cow is massive, and she's not too happy with me. Got her little calf there, maybe, who's to say. Bye-bye, cow. Okay, we've been coming through Sätuna a while now, and we're turning off the paved road onto this dirt road to get to the Ekornavallen, which is like an ancient grave site. But we will eventually meet up with this road again further along on our way towards Hornborgasjön. Alright, we're coming up on Ekornavallen grave site. I'm gonna go around to the main road there and take a seat at some picnic bench. Grab some lunch as well. There you go, there's the sign. This is sort of like the culture road. That's what it means. Points of interest along the way. And then you can see lots of gravestones coming through here. I'll take a closer look in a sec. The first people were buried on Ekornavallen about 3000 BC. Here you can see the Kulturväg Skaraborg, which has plenty of points of interest. We've been to this one on our path, Gudhems Klosterruin, and now we've come up to here, 9, Ekornadalen, and then we're going to be coming up all the way and sleeping right by the lake. They have like a nature thing there. It's pretty cool. And then obviously the last day we continue up to Varnhem. The flat barrows are the most common form of grave in Sweden during the Iron Age. You can see one right here, another right there, and then one just beyond it there. Throughout the whole of the Iron Age, stones were raised to mark graves. There are 12 left standing here in Ekornavallen. You can see the sheep are inching ever closer and closer. This is their land. What is he up to? That's what they're thinking. Don't worry, I'm a friend. So here we have a stone cairn, common during the Bronze Age. It's about 6 feet high. Here we have a passage grave. This one is called the Giant's Oven, and they're always facing east apparently. Here we have a stone circle, or a domaring, common in the early to middle Iron Age. Alright, so we're back off the main road, leaving the graves behind me, and we have about 5 miles to the lake, or at least where I'll be camping for the night. I think it'll only be about 2 before we start to see the lake up close, which I'm looking forward to. That was a lovely detour though, lots of cool history. Such a big difference between yesterday and today. Lots of sun today. 21, like 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Very, very nice day. Feels like summer again. I've come across this old rustic cottage maintained by some local people. Bankestugan, I believe it was called. Pretty cool. You can see it's got some old school thatch style roof with moss on top. Probably insulates very well. I would imagine this stone is cut from the local area. Obviously this has been built many hundreds of years ago. Oh wow, I'm getting a good view through the mirror, or through the window here. Let's see if I can go inside. You can absolutely go inside. They've even got some signage up. This is super cool. Not the tallest roofs, but this is pretty cozy. I wouldn't mind staying here. That was actually super neat. Glad you can go inside and that they have it set up sort of old school. Now we continue on. There you can see Hornborgasjön in the distance again. We are headed right for it, straight through here and like that. This farm over here is massive, and you can see they've freshly cut all of this grass, and
they got all their hay bales ready for winter. And they got a gorgeous view too. There's tons of different bird species that call this area home, and some migratory birds as well. During the spring, there's tons of cranes. You can come and you can see them do their mating dance, and there's like thousands of them. It's very cool. So right now we're here at Ytterberg, but we need to continue this way up to Hornborga Naturen, and then there will be a nice spot where you can camp right there. So there is a birdwatching tower out on this peninsula here, Ytterberg, but we are continuing forward. The Pilgrim's route takes us a little bit inland and north from here. I'm enjoying this cute little path through the trees here. Occasional wood bridge. We've been coming down this trail here, and I found a little bit of a bird tower. This has seen better days, but you can see big variety here. There's the cranes I was talking about here during the spring for their mating season. Starting to get into the golden hours here. I think it's about 5:15. Should get there before sunset. This little nature section here, and you can see we're rocking the orange blazes again. Some more beautiful cows out on pasture, doing what they do best. We've come up onto this ridge here over the cows from the last shot, and this is just a beautiful view over the lake, and we're heading in this direction. Coming along the trail here, and it appears I've stumbled upon another grave marker. No information about this one, but it looks identical to the ones over at Eknadalen. Anyway, we're getting close to the lake now. Probably going to be turning right a little, following the edge. Just a gorgeous view. And you can see in the distance there, that is where we're headed. Campsite right outside of that little hut. And it's not so little once you get close. I found a beautifully placed bench just along the path here at a bit of a high point. So I'm going to take a quick water break and enjoy this view. So, these cows are literally blocking my path. I would prefer not to go through them, so I'm gonna take this hill a little bit and try and scoot around, because they're already nervous. Okay, crisis averted. I went up and then down. It was quite steep, but I had to come through this marshy bit, but it's fine. They're over it. They're like, who the fuck is that guy? We continue. And we come up upon a nice old cabin right along the trail. Ängsladan. Looks like you can go inside. Well, hello, hello. Lots of bird poop. You could definitely sleep here if you needed to, but no need. Hard pass for me. Just had some more cows blocking the path, but these ones were pretty chill. Didn't have to give them that much space. Hopefully that doesn't continue. You can see here there are tons of ducks just along the edge here. And in the distance you can hear a lot more. It's just consistent quackage. We have arrived in that first building there. They call it the Naturen. You can do some bird watching, and there's a lot of cool nature information. And then off on the peninsula there, another bird watching tower. And in that area is where you're allowed to set up camp. So it looks like there's a few people still, but I'm assuming by sunset everyone will have cleared out. They also have this really nice cafe, Cafe Doppingen. Planning on getting some delicious breakfast here tomorrow. But first, I was promised a water fill-up station, so I'm hoping it's out back here. You can see they've got like an RV park situation going on here, so plenty of bathrooms. And we're all set up for the night. Hopefully not too much rain. Alright, the sun has set and everyone has finally cleared out. I'm all alone here on the little peninsula, surrounded by birds. You can probably hear them in the background. But I'm super happy with the progress today. We visited some historical sites and saw lots of beautiful nature. My feet are feeling totally fine as well, and my body is holding up, so only about 7.5 miles tomorrow. So should be able to wrap up relatively easily and get home to my grandma. Hopefully we can get some good food going tomorrow. They're calling for some rain tonight and potentially in the morning as well, so fingers crossed it's not too wet when I'm packing up in the morning. But I'm gonna call it for tonight and I'll see you in the morning.
Good morning, folks. Slept reasonably well. It's been quite windy and it's been raining off and on, and you can tell it's quite windy now and it's gonna get worse. So it's about 8:20 in the morning and I'm gonna try and pack up real quick and get all my stuff underneath the shelter so I can avoid getting all wet tonight this morning, and then I'll just get moving as soon as possible.
Alright, leaving the camp spot behind. I managed to avoid the rain. Now it is just cold and windy. But I have about 6 miles to my final destination. Just gonna grind it out. I'll see you when I get there. Cows don't mind the weather. You can see they have one bull here. Hello, friend. Giving me that look. You don't belong here, fella. 5 kilometers to Varnhem. The rain is picking up though, unfortunately. Some cranes off the road here. Still raining. Entering Varnhem. We have about 1 kilometer left. We've made it. Even the sun is coming out to greet me. We made it!
I hope you enjoyed this adventure. Thanks for watching.